just give an introduction. Good afternoon, or good evening rather, to everyone. My name is Ranveer. We are with the combined company with the international representative of SOAS University of London. Been working extensively with SOAS, assisting students for undergraduate, masters, and PhD courses, and for the wide range of programs SOAS is internationally renowned for. And we have Amy Mitchell from London, SOAS, who's agreed to give a brief presentation today to our students, and encourage you to post your queries in the Q&A and maybe raise your hands after that. It's really meant to be an interactive session. Over to you, Amy. Thank you for your time again.
Yeah, no, Ranveer, thank you ever so much. Always delighted to participate in your seminars that you organise. And as Ranveer said, we've been working with the combined company for many years now, and they really are experts in providing that support to students looking for study opportunities overseas, whether that's the UK or elsewhere, and then in terms of applying for your programs and that post-application support. So any advice and guidance and support that you need, definitely get in contact with their team. My name is Amy, and I'm the International Recruitment Manager at SOAS University of London. So I'm just going to run through some very, a very brief presentation, just covering the following topics. So why choose the UK? So obviously you might be thinking about study opportunities abroad, and there's a lot of destinations available to you. So I'm just going to run through some highlights about the UK, and then specifically focusing on the university that I work for, which is SOAS University of London, taking you through some of our popular degree programs, touching upon fees and funding, how to apply, and then just some next steps. And of course, we will have time for a Q&A at the end of the presentation. It won't take too long, so feel free to ask any questions that you have at the end, and you can always post questions in the chat box as and when they come up, and I'll go through them at the end of the session. Okay, so why thinking about the UK then as a study destination? What options do you have? So the UK really offers students a great number of opportunities. We've got over 130 universities in the UK, and each university really is unique and specific. So they all offer a wide variety of subject areas, and they're all located in some really beautiful parts of the UK. So obviously we've got universities that are located in large cities, but there's also some that are located in smaller towns. So, depending on your preference, both in terms of subject area and also location, there's a wide variety available to you. All of our universities in the UK come with strong international reputation, with academic excellence, and we've got incredibly high standards of teaching from the world's leading academics. So a degree from the UK really is going to be recognised by future employers, whether that's in the UK or at the international level, or even back here in India. So all of our degrees are internationally recognised. Now, the UK is a hotspot for international students. We've got over 600 international students studying in the UK currently. So it just goes to show how popular the country is for international students. And, we're also incredibly welcoming and inclusive. And we're very fortunate to have so many international students studying with us. We are also quicker and cheaper than other study destinations, such as the USA. So if we look at bachelor's degrees, our bachelor's degrees take around 3 years to complete, whereas it's 4 years in the US. And then our master's degrees are 1 year versus 2 years in the US. So obviously thinking about tuition fees, it is cheaper. You're only paying, for example, for master's students, you're only paying 1 year of tuition fees and 1 year of living costs. Part-time work is available with your student visa, so students can work 20 hours a week in the term. So this is a great opportunity to not only bring in some extra money towards your living costs, but also get exposure within many companies and industries within the UK. And we've also introduced the graduate visa. So this was introduced a couple of years ago, and this allows any students completing a degree in the UK, so bachelor's, master's and research, you will be able to apply for the graduate visa to stay back. So for bachelor's and master's students, they offer you a 2-year stay back, and for research students, it's a 3-year stay back. So really positive time to be studying in the UK with lots of opportunities available to you. So now looking at my university, SOAS University of London. So one of the main questions I get is SOAS, what does it mean, SOAS? Well, it does stand for the School of Oriental and African Studies. We were founded in 1916, so we're just over 100 years old, and we are specialists in the study of Asia, Africa and the Middle East, particularly looking at the languages, cultures and societies of these regions. But our subjects span across the arts, humanities and social sciences. And this is a snapshot of our subjects that we offer at SOAS. So we have degrees in subjects like anthropology, music, development studies, gender, history, linguistics, politics. So all of our programs are very much taught at the global level, and SOAS is very unique in its teaching. We take a non-Eurocentric approach to our subjects, and we often offer a very critical analysis of Western theory and Western ideology. So we very much give you that global perspective, but we do have regional modules available. So if you have a particular interest in, say, South Asia, then many modules will be aligned to that particular region. And we also offer over 50 non-European languages at SOAS. So some degrees will allow you to combine your subject, your discipline with an intensive language. So that means that you would spend, a bachelor's student, you would spend a year abroad in that particular country, or a master's student, you would spend a summer abroad. And these are designed to get your language up to that intensive level. Outside of that, students do take language modules as part of their degree. So for bachelor's and master's students, you'll always be able to take at least one module from the language department. So even if it's beginners Japanese, beginners Korean or Arabic, something like this is going to look really good on your CV, and will just again help you to stand out from the crowd when you come to search for employment. So in terms of some rankings, we are 44th in the world for arts and humanities. We're 2nd in the world for development studies. So this really is our flagship program. We're 5th in the UK for politics, global top 200 for law, and 5th in the UK for graduate employability for our finance and management programs. And as our name suggests, SOAS University of London, we very much are located in the very heart of London. So this is a map of central London. You might see some familiar places like Big Ben, we've got London Eye, we've got the Thames running through the city, and SOAS is located here in this area called Bloomsbury, and we've got great transportation links around us, lots of tube stations. So obviously the quickest and cheapest way to get around London is often on the underground. So we're really blessed to be in a really central location, which is convenient for students, and we're just one campus, so all of our teaching is done in the one location. For students arriving into London, you will typically fly into Heathrow Airport. Once you arrive, you can take the underground, and it will get you from Heathrow to pretty much the doorstep of the SOAS campus in just under 1 hour. So again, just highlighting that we do have a very central location, which is very convenient for students to access. This is a picture of the campus. So we're a cluster of buildings, essentially. Here we've got this pedestrian walkway, which is in front of the main building. And it's in the main building here that we have the SOAS library. So it's an amazing resource for students. We've got over 1.3 million resources. We've got, each level here is dedicated to a particular region. And it is one of the world's most important libraries for the study of Asia, Africa and the Middle East. And it is also one of 5 national research libraries in the UK. So it's a tremendous resource for students. And it also comes with over 1,000 study spaces as well. And you can see some students studying here in the corner, and some computers available downstairs. And one of the beauties about SOAS is really the students that study with us. Our students are very passionate about global issues and creating change, and they really want to make a positive impact, whether that's at the local level in their country, in their home country, or at the international level. Now, we've got students from over 135 countries, so we're very international, and we've got over 200 students from India studying with us. So we have a really nice established cohort of Indian students at SOAS. Now, we're not a big university, so we have around 6,500 students on campus. So we are slightly smaller than many universities in the UK, but we offer students a really nice community feel, which is very unique within central London. And students find it really easy to settle in and make friends. Over 50% of our students are from overseas, and we offer small class sizes as well. So this is really beneficial for students. You get great access with professors and one-to-one support, each week. All professors will have contact hours, so you can connect with them, make an appointment, and discuss any questions or concerns that you have. We have over 150 clubs and societies, and this is really important because we want you to have fun. We want you to meet people, develop your interests and your skills, and just, have a good time. So we have a student union at SOAS where we offer clubs and societies that you can join, but we're also part of the University of London. So you do have access to a wider network of events and meeting students from other universities in London. So just to run you through some of our popular degree programs. So within the School of Law, we offer the LLB for undergraduate students. And at the master's level, we offer the LLM, both the general LLM, but also in a number of specialist areas. And we also offer the MA law. So if you're not coming from a legal, if you don't have a qualifying law degree like the LLB, you can look to apply for the MA law. Within politics and international studies, we offer BA Politics and BA International Relations. At the master's level, we offer MSc International Politics and an MA International Studies and Diplomacy. Within development studies, we offer BA Global Development and an MSc in Development Studies. And in finance and management, we offer BSc Management and a BSc Accounting and Finance. Now I've just put a star next to these programs because these do come with a maths requirement at either class 10 or class 12. At the postgraduate level, we offer an MSc in International Business and an MSc in Accounting and Finance. And for economics, we offer BSc Economics, again, with a maths requirement and an MSc in Economics. Now, and this is just an example of some of our popular programs that we offer and some of the popular programs that Indian students tend to study with us. But as I've said, we've got subjects across all areas within social sciences, arts and humanities. For example, anthropology, history, gender, music, religions. So yeah, a great number of programs available. And of course, at the PhD level, we do offer research degrees in all of these subjects as well. So just to take you through very quickly, so for bachelor's students, if you're looking to study something like law, we would be looking for 85%, whereas for management, we would be looking for around 75%. For master's students, we have a minimum 2-2. So this can range between 55 to 60% or a CGPA of 5.5 to 6.0, depending on the university that you studied at. And for MPhil PhD students, again, we have a minimum 2-2 with the same requirements, 55 to 60% or a 5.5 to 6.0 CGPA. I've also listed the tuition fees. So these are updated fees for our next intake, which is in September 2023. So for bachelors, they're set at just over £21,000 per year. Master's students, they do vary depending on your subject. And then for PhD students, again, it is just over £21,000. For English language requirements, we do offer accept alternative qualifications, and this to prove your proficiency for courses at the degree level. For bachelor's degrees from top universities, we will exempt students from taking the IELTS test. So depending on when you've completed your degree, if it was completed within the last 5 years, you would be eligible for direct entry. So this is, for example, if you're coming from a university like University of Delhi, and if you've completed your degree within 10 years, we would still be able to offer you direct entry, but we would also it would also come with a free complimentary in-sessional English language program. And then for 12th standard English, again, with a 5-year validity, it's 70% and above with that free in-sessional and 80% and above for direct entry. So what I would say is that you don't need a certificate an English language certificate to apply to SOAS. And in many cases, we can waive that English language requirement for you. If you are required to sit the English language test, perhaps if your grades are slightly below what we're looking for, this is just an example of what we would be looking for IELTS exams. So it would be direct entry, we'd be looking for a 6.5 overall. There's obviously many providers that we do accept. However, Duolingo, that online English language testing provider, is no longer accepted at SOAS. And just to reiterate, you don't need an English language certificate at the time of applying to us. So you can submit your application and we'll come back to you to say if you are required to sit any English language tests. And in terms of funding, we do offer some scholarships to students. So at the undergraduate level, we are introducing some new scholarships. These will be small discounts off of your tuition fees of £2,500. They will be merit-based and the deadline will be May. For postgraduate students, we have a Felix scholarship, which has an end of January deadline. So that one does come up quite quickly in terms of the application cycle. So it's just being mindful of that. That offers fully funded scholarships for master's students, covering fees and living costs. In 2022, our recent intake, we awarded 5 fully funded scholarships to Indian students. And this is a mix of both merit and needs-based. We also offer an international postgraduate scholarship. This is a £5,000 fee discount, and again, it is merit-based. So we will be looking for a 2-1 and above. And last year, I believe we awarded around 15 international postgraduate scholarships. At the research level, we've got the SOAS Research Studentship. This is fully funded, again, covering all 3 years of your PhD, and again, the Felix Scholarship, as I mentioned earlier, it does provide 1 PhD award as well. And just to look out for external scholarships, this is particularly for master's students. You might want to look at the UK government's Global Scholarship Programme, which is Chevening, and then also INLACs as well. In terms of job opportunities, London living costs are in the region of around £1,334. So this is the official rate set by UKVI last year. So we would say that this is perhaps at the upper end of living costs in London, and it is possible to keep living costs below. You are, as I've mentioned at the beginning, allowed to work part-time. So you can work 20 hours a week in the term and then full-time in the holidays. So again, really great opportunities to bring in some extra money and again, get exposure within the UK. Now, we provide a lot of support for students. We have a dedicated webpage where we post all part-time job opportunities available to students in London. So, you know, really great resource and something that you should be looking at if you are considering a part-time job in London. Again, we offer employment opportunities on campus. So we have things like library assistants, student ambassadors, digital ambassadors, and we pay around £11.50 an hour. So we pay very well for London, and these are really great jobs to be involved in and very flexible as well. So you can work around your timetable at university. And we do offer extensive career support, things like careers workshops. We've got skills workshops, so working on your presentation skills and networking, writing your CV, and we've also got fairs as well that we run throughout the year. So law and justice fair and finance and management fairs, for example. We try and keep them subject specific, so you know which ones to go along to. But again, these are really great opportunities for meeting employers and starting your networking there. So just running through very briefly now on how to apply for bachelor's degrees. You'll apply through UCAS. And again, if you are interested in studying in the UK and whether that's at SOAS or other universities, the team at Combine can definitely help you with your application. So for bachelor's, you apply through UCAS and you can select up to 5 universities in your application form. There's a couple of deadlines to be mindful of. One is the 25th of January. So after this date, many universities in the UK might start to close their programs. But typically many students will apply up until the 30th of June, and this is kind of known as the main cycle. You will have opportunities to apply for bachelor's degrees in the UK after the 30th of June, but these are just the main deadlines that students work towards. You'll need to send your predicted or your final grades, a letter of recommendation from your teacher, and a personal statement of 4,000 characters. And the response time for SOAS is between 4 to 6 weeks. For masters and research degrees, then you'll apply online directly to SOAS. The deadlines for master's degrees, so this is the 1-year masters, is the 31st of July 2023, and for research degrees it's the 15th of June 2023. So just being again mindful of those dates, that you do have plenty of time to apply, but for international students it's always good to apply sooner rather than later, just to avoid any delays down the line. For your application, will require your CV, your academic transcripts, and a personal statement. And then for research students, we'll ask for references and a research proposal. So these are only specific for research students. There's no fee to apply, and the response time is again 4 to 6 weeks for master's students, and 8 weeks for research applications. So just again, once you submit your application, be patient. It's very unlikely that you'll get a response before 4 weeks. So at the 4-week mark, then we can definitely chase up your application if you haven't had a response from us. And then just ending now with some tips on your personal statement. So what are we looking for essentially? We're really looking to see that you are enthusiastic and you're passionate about your subject area. Perhaps you've got some prior understanding and knowledge and experience of your subject as well. And we want to see that you've engaged academically as well with the discipline. So for bachelor's students, you may have taken a class in this particular subject, and this is why you're wanting to go on and pursue it at the bachelor's level. For master's students, you may have taken a similar bachelor's degree, or you may have taken an elective or a module that's introduced you to this subject area. We want to see that you've got some relevant knowledge and skills, and we really want to see that it's an original piece of work that you've spent time on, and it's really showcasing your skills and abilities and your passions and enthusiasms. We want it to have a good structure and a well thought out persuasive approach. We want to see that you've done your research on the programme and the university. Now the university would be specific to master's students. If you're a bachelor's student, you would just write one personal statement. So if you are applying to 5 universities, you would need to keep that quite focused just on the subject area. And then looking at how to write it, it can be very difficult to start your personal statement, but we just want to see what excites you about the subject. How did you first learn about it? How have you engaged with it? Always back up your interests with relevant examples. So do you have any relevant work experience, whether that's paid or voluntary? What outside reading have you done? Go to your family and friends, ask them what your strengths are. It can be, they can often help you to think about strengths that you hadn't already thought about. Always start with a strong opening paragraph, set the scene, grab the reader's attention, and prove your suitability, your academic ability, any transferable skills that you have, and current engagement in the subject area. For master's students, specifically show your research on the programme, show that you've gone through the structure of the programme, pick out modules that interest you, and tell us why you want to study at SOAS. And always finish with what makes you unique and interesting, and how is this going to help both in terms of the academic program, but also your time at SOAS and beyond. And then just things not to do. So avoid cliches, be original as possible, don't waffle, editing is key. So, you know, write a first draft, then leave it and then come back to it and edit it. And as you know, obviously never submit a first draft, and always ask friends and tutors to provide feedback for you. And don't copy personal statements. So we will know if you have copied a personal statement, whether that's from a friend or something that you've seen online. So again, try and submit an original piece of work that you have spent time on yourself. So that's it for me. I've listed my email address here, and I've also included the links to our social media channels, and this can be a really nice way of finding out more about the university and seeing yeah, what's available and seeing what it's like from a student's perspective. So very happy to go through some questions now. I see we've got some questions in the chat box. Yeah, or I don't know if you want to read them out, Ranveer.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I think that was very useful, Amy, including the tips for the essays, references, and guidelines. I think everyone's got a question on that. So it's great you've covered that, and also from the school visit today. So we just have, you know, as I mentioned, a shorter, smaller cohort of about 15 students. Some of them have put in their queries on the chat. Aniket saying, I'm inquiring whether the LLM provides, or what are the kind of specializations in electives. He's interested in IDR, international dispute resolution, and alternate dispute resolution. And perhaps just a general question of what are the electives available to specialize in the LLM?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So our specialisms include like human rights, conflict and justice. We've got international law, international commercial and economic law, law and gender. So if you do have a focus in alternate dispute resolution, we do have many electives that are aligned to that particular area. So what we find is many students will enroll in the LLM International Law, and then within that specialism, you will have modules in those particular areas. So I can send you the link directly.
Please.
Let me just quickly stop sharing, and let me just grab the link for the LLM International Law, and I'll send that to you. So all of the programs that are listed on the website, they do go through how the program is structured. So you'll see the core modules that you need to take along with those electives. So obviously, if you're taking a specialism, you will be required to take a certain number of electives from your chosen specialist area, and then outside of that, you will have at least, you know, 1 or 2 modules that you can take from the wider LLM module listing. So I will have a look. I've just sent you the link to the LLM International Law, and that might be one.
Sure. I'll just ask Aniket if you have any questions. You can come online for a minute, Aniket, if you wish to. Given your background, if you want to clarify that, since you're applying for September intake, if you wish, you can come online and right now.
Good evening, sir. My name is Aniket. Hi. Good evening.
Hi.
I just wanted to inquire whether what are the provisions for part-time work there in the university?
Yeah, I mean, we've got lots of part-time work available for students. As I've said, you know, we've got positions like library assistants, we've got a shop, we've got a cafe. So there's a lot of opportunities for students to get involved in work. We also run a student ambassador scheme. So this is great for students that, you know, really want to get involved in the university. So we'll often ask student ambassadors to help us with events, you know, kind of help with open days and evening seminars. So, you know, and these are jobs that you do get paid for as well. So we do have a lot of jobs available, but we're also centrally located in London. So depending on the type of work that you're looking to get, you know, all industries are, you know, are located in London. So it's really a great place if you are looking to get that part-time work.
And just to add to that, as per UKVI, you're able to work both off campus and on campus. So you can work in any industry, provided obviously you have some skills. If you're a mature student, for example, we were able to find work outside the university. There's plenty of opportunities in one of the largest and most vibrant cities in the world, which is London. And SOAS is right in the heart of it. So I don't think you have much of a problem.
Yeah, you'll have a lot of choice. And as I've said, we have a dedicated careers team, so they're there to help you during your time with us, but also
Right.
they can provide support once you've graduated. So it's really important when you join a university, and this is, not just specific to SOAS, but whichever university you decide to go for, really make an effort to connect with the careers team and get a feel for what they can do, how they can help you, what events have they got, what opportunities have you got to network and meet alumni. But it's also good for them to find out, well, what is it that you're looking for? What do you want to get out of your year, and how can we best support you? So definitely connect with the careers team when you enroll at your chosen university.
If you can give us a background briefly, Aniket, of your academic or work, if you wish to. Otherwise, you can send us your documents and your academic transcripts, so we can review it.
So I've done my bachelor's in law, BLLB honors, 5-year integrated course from Jamia Millia. And after that, for 1 year, I have worked, practiced at the High Court of Delhi.
Okay.
So, so what I wanted to inquire was that is work experience a requisite?
No, it's not. So none of our programs come with that prerequisite, but we ask you to submit a CV because, we obviously acknowledge that some students do have work experience. So, your personal statement, it's only for master's students, it's only 1,000 words. So you really have to be focused on, why you're wanting to study this particular program, and it doesn't really give you, much opportunity to go into any relevant experience that you might have. So a CV is great then for you to be able to document the work experience that you have. What was your position? What responsibilities did you have? What skills did you have? So obviously for students that have work experience, we will definitely look at it, and it will add to your profile. If you don't have work experience, then that's completely fine. There might be some students in the session that don't have any work experience. That's fine. You wouldn't be penalized, and you could just use your CV then to outline, perhaps your time at university and any projects you're involved in or any extracurricular activities.
Right. So I think for majority of the programs, I don't think have any work experience requirement, but it certainly does help and would raise your profile in case you have some relevant experience and credentials. So do get in touch with us, Aniket, with the documents, and you're in Delhi and so are we, and you have our coordinates. Thank you.
Certainly.
Okay, I guess we have a query from Atul asking for senior status entry. He's done an MBBS. I'm not sure, but I presume he will not be eligible for a 2-year LLB entry. Amy, would you like to clarify or give what the options might be?
Yeah, I mean, the 2-year LLB, is designed for students that already have a degree, a bachelor's degree, and it's essentially a kind of fast track LLB program. So obviously, instead of doing a 3-year program, it would be condensed into 2 years. So with the senior status LLB program, we really need to see your full application, and you still apply through UCAS for that. So it'd be very difficult for me to say yes or no, because we couldn't make a decision until we saw your full application. But obviously in your SOP, in your personal statement, you'd need to put forward a very kind of strong case as to why you're looking to switch areas and backgrounds and now get into law. So we'd need to kind of understand your thought process and where you're looking to go with the LLB. So I would say absolutely apply. Worst case scenario, you would maybe be given an offer for the kind of normal standard 3-year LLB.
Is that a fast track, by the way, or is it a standard?
Yes. The senior status is essentially a fast track. So that is for students that have a degree already. But again, it is very much a kind of case by case. We look at the student's profile. The entry onto the senior status LLB isn't as straightforward as the kind of standard 3-year LLB.
Right. So there is a slight possibility, as you said, rightly. So Atul, do send us your details, and you're in Thane in Mumbai, so please do get in touch with us,
Yeah.
we'll take it forward. I hope that answers your question, Atul. If you want, very briefly, you can come online for a minute.
So yeah, so that answers my question. Yeah, I just had a doubt, so I just wanted to clear it.
Okay. And have you been working for some time after the MBBS?
Yeah, I have got some work experience. I got an internship experience and a 6 months of work experience. Yeah.
Okay. Related to health, is it? Medicine, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Again, do send us your details. I think there's an option, given it's a fast track senior status at a reputed University of London. I think we can have a look at that and get back.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Just two quick questions. MA Public Policy and Governance. What are the opportunities after MA Public Policy? Very generic, but I think given SOAS's reputation in this area worldwide and in the UK, perhaps you can just indicate typically where do people, or what are the career destinations?
Yeah, I mean, so in terms of the program itself, we offer an MSc Public Policy, Finance and Management. So let me just, I'll pop the link. I'll pop the link to that program for you. So yeah, so again, it's a 1-year program, and just like all of our programs, it is structured in a way that you'll have core modules and then you will have electives that you get to pick and choose which ones you take. I'm just having a quick look through the page because you know, employment opportunities vary considerably depending on the student. So you know, it's very subjective because it comes down to what students want to do, where they want to make an impact, and we will guide you accordingly and kind of give you that support. But I'm just looking through where our recent graduates have gone. We've obviously got, you know, students working for, you know, consultancies like Deloitte, EY, PwC, KPMG. We've got students working for, you know, international organizations like places like Christian Aid. You know, we've got students at, you know, Save the Children, Amnesty. We've got students working in the UN. So the UN is a very popular, you know, kind of destination for a lot of our graduates. So it's really quite varied. And again, it comes down to what students want to do. So when you apply for your master's program, you know, we don't expect you to know exactly what you want to do, but you might have an idea as to, you know, what it is you want to do with your, in terms of your career and how this master's degree is going to help you. So there is that element of thinking about, well, why do I want to study this program and how is it going to be of benefit to me going forward? So we can obviously, again, offer you extensive support within the careers team. We can offer you those opportunities to network. We've got a really dedicated alumni network, both in London and also internationally. They're very happy to help students. They've been in your position, so they're happy to give their advice and guidance and recommendations for you. But what I will say as well is that degrees, that, you know, the knowledge and the skills that you develop in your degree, you can transfer it across, you know, a number of different industries. So, and we do obviously acknowledge that you know, your plans and you know, your kind of career goals, they change. You know, it can be very fluid as well throughout your life. So definitely you know, what you learn at the master's level can be applied to a number of different areas.
Right. No, absolutely. I think thanks to large think tanks, public policy, multilateral organizations to NGOs, so a very wide range of careers both in public and private sector. So I encourage you to put your name, if possible, in the chat. Otherwise, well, we certainly have your registration, but it'll be useful who we know your name in the chat. I guess similar, well, not similar question. He's done a bachelor's from DU. Didn't mention which degree, but seems to have indicated that he's now done guitar specializations and electronic music, keen on masters in music or graphic design related programs. I'm not sure whether that's something which is offered in music or something related to composition.
Yeah, I mean, we do. I'm just having again a quick look through. We do offer the MA music degree at the master's level. What I would say is probably our music program and, most of our programs at SOAS, they obviously do look at kind of theories.
Right.
So it's maybe perhaps less on that production side.
Right.
Some of the modules for music would be theory and method and ethnomusicology, music and global perspective. We've got Indian vocal music, styles and histories. We've got things like modules like podcasting, performance, sound recording and production. So I'm not sure if the program would be relevant to what this student is looking to study specifically. I will send a link to the MA music degree, and in terms of graphic design, that's again not something that we offer, unfortunately, at SOAS, but definitely take a look at the MA music, and again it might really help you to kind of bridge any gaps in knowledge of like music theory, kind of perspectives that you might have. So definitely check it out, and yeah, if you have any follow-up questions, or if you want to, and for all of the students here, if you do want to connect with the academic department directly, then I'm very happy to help facilitate that.
Right. Wonderful. I think any final closing comments? I think generally, obvious questions on scholarships you've covered, but perhaps just emphasizing, you mentioned UG equal deadline of around 25th January is preferred for an equal decision. And the UG deadline you mentioned is May, is it?
So essentially with UCAS, the application does stay open for the majority of the year, but again, it will depend on the universities that you're applying to, because as I said, some universities, they will start to close their programs once they reach capacity. So just if you do have a short list of universities, it's always good to get your application in by the 25th of January. But if you haven't decided yet, that's completely fine. You still have until the 30th of June, and that's known as the main cycle deadline. And then after the 30th of June, then we go into that period of clearing and confirmation. And again, that's a time, if you have an offer from a university, you can look for other courses available. Maybe you've performed better in your exams and you want to go for a university with slightly higher entry requirements, or maybe you haven't performed as well and you want to now adjust your university choice. So you do have a lot of flexibility throughout the year. And with master's students and research students, again, you do have deadlines in June and July. But what we would really say to international students is, if you are thinking, if you are serious about studying overseas for the next intake of September 2023, then really get your application in as soon as you can, because it will just really help you down the line, getting an offer early, knowing what conditions you might have attached with your offer, ensuring you meet those on time, and then just ensuring that you're preparing for your visa. You can apply for student accommodation. So that's my I guess top tip. You have time, but also try and apply as soon as you can.
And I guess apart from the Felix scholarship deadline, which is end Jan, are there any great UK or master scholarships available?
Nothing through kind of SOAS, but obviously outside, I mentioned the Chevening scholarship. So that's a fantastic scholarship for master's students, but that one does have a 2-year work experience requirement. So that's not 2 consecutive years of work. They can look at all forms of work experience that you have, whether that's part-time, casual work, voluntary work, internships. But with Chevening, applications are obviously closed now for September 2023. Their application cycle runs from August to November. So in August next year, applications will open, and that will be for September 2024. So it's worth looking at if you haven't quite, if you think that maybe by August you'll have reached that 2-year work experience requirement and you are looking to do a master's in the UK, definitely check out Chevening. It's a fantastic scholarship, fully funded, but you also get some great networking opportunities with the UK government.
And the Felix, as you mentioned, is end Jan, and that's also fully funded for only certain specific programs, if I'm not mistaken.
It is kind of for all programs. I know that, I mean, last year, we had a variety of students who were awarded it. So, but yeah, it does have that early deadline of the end of January. So if you are looking to apply for Felix, and I mean, you can find information on scholarships on the webpage, because obviously all scholarships do have specific eligibility criteria. So again, going through that is really important. But if you do meet the criteria for Felix and you want to apply for it, it's really important that you submit your master's application by mid-January at the latest. And that's because the Felix committee will meet in March to do the shortlisting for interviews. So by March, they want to see that, they want to see the list of who has an offer to study with us.
So the end Jan deadline is, to clarify, an application deadline for submitting an application and the Felix scholarship application.
Yes,
they don't need to be holding an offer at that time.
No, absolutely not. No. So when you submit your master's application, you will be given an application ID of around 7 digits, and it's with that application ID you can then go and apply for any scholarships that are open. So you can go through the list of scholarships that we have now on the website. As I mentioned, they are closed at the moment because we are updating them, but you can still get an idea as to which scholarships you would be eligible to apply for. And yeah, as soon as you apply for your master's program, then start applying for scholarships if they're open. Right.
Wonderful. Thank you. I think that pretty much summarizes everything that most students have inquired for and the program and the courses. And if there's any further questions, do get in touch with us. Encourage all the students. All the details are in the chat, and we'll certainly follow up, Amy, with the students who were unable to join for work and other reasons. But again, thank you for your time. I think the idea was to a quick 45-minute odd session with the interested students, and we shall certainly be in touch, and trust you had a good visit.
Yes, thank you. It's always lovely to come back to India. So although it's cold, it's very cold in Delhi at the moment. So I've been caught out a few nights where I haven't had my warm clothes with me. But yeah, always lovely to be back. And, I put my email address at the end of the presentation. So if any of you do have any follow-up questions, very happy to reach out. And yeah, Ranveer and the team, thank you so much for organizing this session. I really enjoyed it. So thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, take care.